Hello, bio guys and girls. Mr. Harvey here. Today, we are going to learn how to use a spreadsheet. And in particular, we're going to look at 4 skills: how to freeze a row, how to sort data, how to calculate an average, and calculate a percent. So let's go. This sample spreadsheet has information on a variety of breakfast cereals. This is all the kind of stuff you would find in a nutrition label on the side of the box. All the data in a spreadsheet is laid out in rows, which have numbers, and columns, which have letters. These boxes are called cells, and you can refer to a specific cell such as B6. So this refers to column B, row 6. Okay? You can edit a single cell by double-clicking it, a row, or a column. Okay? First thing we're going to do with our data is freeze this top row. And we'll do that by going to the view menu, then freeze, and then one row. What that does is it makes this top row stay put so that even if I scroll down, that top row doesn't move. And that's handy if we have a big spreadsheet with a lot of information, or for the next thing we're going to do, which is sorting. So you'll notice I've got all this nutrition information on calories and fat and so on. So let's say that I wanted to sort the data by one of these values. Let's just do the calories. So to do that, I first need to highlight the data, and I can either highlight the entire spreadsheet, or if there was a row down here I didn't want to include, like for example, maybe I didn't want to include the Wheaties, I could highlight everything but that row and tell the spreadsheet to leave out the Wheaties. But let's go ahead and highlight the whole thing. Then we're going to go to the data menu up here and go to sort range. Now the only option you get easily here is to sort by column A. So we have to go to the advanced sorting options. And here we'll see that we could highlight any column. So if I want to sort it by column D or E, I could do that. Since I froze that first row though, I check this box that says data has header row, and now I can actually see what's in those columns. So the calories, proteins, and so on. So I want to sort by calories. If I want to go low to high, I'll do A to Z. If I wanted to do high to low, I could do Z to A. Okay. And all that does is it shuffles those around until we have the low number for calories on top and the high number on bottom. So we can see the range here is all bran, which has 70 calories, and total raisin bran, which has 140. So that's definitely handy if we're trying to find the range of our data rather than searching through all those numbers. And the next thing I want to do is calculate an average. So I'm going to do that on this bottom row here. You could do it in any cell you want to, but it's certainly probably a little easier or more convenient to put it next to the data year and average. So first I'm going to type in this empty cell here, just the word averages. Okay. And then I'm going to click on this empty cell under the protein. So we'll put in an average function for the protein. Now I can get to the average function one of two ways. I can either go to the insert menu and go down to function, and you'll see average right there. Or there's a shortcut over here for functions. If I click on that, you'll also see average there. And what I have to tell the program is, what do I want to average? So what's my data set? So to do that, I'm going to simply click and highlight all these cells that contain protein numbers, hit enter, and the program calculates that average for me. You could also type. If you wanted to change that, you can edit this function by just typing the cells that you want. Okay. Now, you see this big decimal, and that can, kind of be a little too much to look at. So I'm going to decrease that by pressing decrease decimal places. And you'll see that with each click, the program is rounding that number and cutting down those decimals. And let's cut it down to 1. So there we go, 2.5. If I wanted to also calculate averages for these other rows, I could do the same thing in each row, But the spreadsheet has a very handy copy and paste feature. It's this little blue dot that you see. So if I go to this blue dot, you'll see my cursor changes to a crosshair. If I click and drag over, it's going to copy not only the formula, but also the rounding that I did. So if we click, for example, under sodium, what it's now doing is doing the same thing for sodium that it did for protein. It's averaging all these numbers in this column. Okay? We've done that for each of these columns. So same for fiber, carbs, and all the others. Now I left out calories, so let's go ahead and copy that over to calories. I'm going to click on that blue dot. This time I'm going to drag to the left, and there we have now the formula copied there. Okay. The last thing that I'm going to do is calculate a percent. So I want to look at these last two columns. If you look at a nutrition label, you'll notice that carbs and sugars are together, and the sugars is part of the carbohydrates. And that's because sugar is a type of carbohydrate. There's other carbs in food. What I want to know is what percent of the total carbs are sugars, right? Are they half? Are they 20%? So to do that, I'm going to insert a function here manually. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on this empty cell here next to the sugar. And on my keyboard, I'm going to type an equal sign. Then I'm going to click on the cell containing the sugar's value, in this case H2. Then I'm going to type a /, which the spreadsheet will treat as a divide operation. Then I click on the total carbs. So you see what the formula looks like. It's H2 divided by G2. And if I hit enter, that divides those two numbers and gives me that decimal. Now, often the spreadsheet will give you these suggested autofills, and you can certainly use those. They can be handy. But for now, I'm going to reject that because I still have a couple more things to do with this. Now, if you divide two numbers, that does not automatically give you a percent. The next step would be to multiply by 100. However, there's a function for this in the spreadsheet, and it's up here where it says format as percent. So you see the percent sign there. Again, you can also get there from the format menu by going format, number, and then click percent. So what did it do? Well, it took that decimal and it multiplied it by 100, and then also put the percent symbol in there. I'm going to round this to a whole number by clicking that a couple times. And there I have now the percent of total carbs that's sugars. Okay, so I've got my formula. Now the last thing I'm going to do is copy this down to the other cells by clicking and dragging that blue dot. Okay, oops, didn't go quite far enough. Okay, and there you have it. All of these are showing what percent of the total carbs are made of sugars. So there's a spreadsheet. I hope you guys learned something and have fun working with it.